Hi YouTube, it is Bria Nicole. I am back with another video. I have just taken my hair out and I might rock this for the day because it's not bad. But today I'm going to talk about how I center myself and the struggles I have with centering myself. And the reason I'm doing this is because I can tell y'all over and over and over what centering self is, why you should center self. I can compare it to decentering men, but that's not going to give you something actionable to try for yourself if you decide to take the journey. So I'm going to tell you what I do. I cannot actually tell you what to do. That is something you do have to figure out for yourself, because different things resonate for different people, and different things that I do are done in different ways for different people. But I can tell you what I do so you have some kind of inspiration, and then I can tell you about my struggles so you can so that you can know that you're not alone if you are experiencing some of the same struggles. So first and foremost, I'm just going to lay it out. This is where I am right now with my center self journey. Take care of myself, set boundaries, be honest with myself. Those are the three things that I am working on to center myself. Taking care of myself is right now mostly about the physical, because throughout my life, I've had to learn that on my own, literally. I was not taught pretty much anything. There are a few things here and there, but I was not taught anything. On top of that, I was discouraged from physical self-care because trying to learn it when nobody's teaching you takes longer, and it takes away from you doing things that other people want you to do. So throughout my life, I've had to learn it by myself, and I've been discouraged from doing it because it kept me away from what people wanted me to do. And there's nothing wrong with that, because a majority of that was when I was a kid. So my parents had things that were more important to them than me taking care of myself physically, unfortunately. And that's just how it played out. I am not mad at my parents for that. This is not a green flag, a green light to bash my parents. Just want to throw that out there. But this physical self-care is also actually a struggle of mine, because not being taught and then being discouraged away from it kind of sent a message to me that I wasn't worthy, that taking care of myself wasn't important. I didn't matter in that way. And that kind of grew into other ways that I haven't taken care of myself, that I have since grown out of. I'll put it that way. And there are still other ways that I have to do it. I still have to quit vaping. I quit smoking weed. I quit smoking Black and Milds. Yes, I smoke Black and Milds, not cigarettes. I quit taking recreational drugs. And I quit drinking. But I still have to stop vaping. I still have to drink my water consistently. I drink water every day, but I don't drink enough, I'll be honest. And this right here is actually chlorophyll water, because a few years ago I drank chlorophyll water and I liked how it made me feel on the inside, so I'm trying it again. I definitely have to eat better. First, I have to eat, period. But I have to eat better when I do eat. I have to get better sleep. Definitely have to get better sleep. Yeah, it's bad. That's all I'm gonna say. In my opinion, for me, it's bad. I have a problem meditating in stillness. The be honest with myself aspect is kind of a form of meditation. When I explain it to you, you'll understand. But I feel like the few moments that I've been able to meditate in stillness, meaning quieting my mind, have been more effective in taking care of myself. And I'm classifying this as physical because of the impact it has on the physical. It is a mental thing, but the impact that it has on my physical. Meditation can literally heal the body of illness if you are truly tapped in. I've done it before, so I am not just saying it to say it. I'm saying it because I have anecdotal experience. I do still need to get into exercise and getting outside more, getting some sunlight. And yeah, physical self-care is probably the easiest step in centering self, but it's not the main step. It is very important, especially if you take the approach I take from my last video, getting out of the mind and into the soul. If your body is clean, if your body is healthy, your soul has more to work with. Your soul has more flexibility to move through you. But hyper focusing on self-care can be just as detrimental as not performing self-care, physical self-care, because it is just one aspect. Like I said, it's an important aspect, but it's just one aspect. So the second thing that I do to center myself is I practice boundaries. And the simplest way that I can do that right now, with the way my life is right now, is saying no to things that I don't usually say no to when I don't want to do them. There are certain dynamics I've had with people throughout my life that have kind of led to this I'm not going to call it a cycle, but it's kind of a cycle where I go up and I'm like, no, I'm not going to put up with this anymore. And then I go down and I'm just like, it ain't really that big a deal. Then I go up, then I go down. Right now, I'm practicing saying no to the things that I usually wouldn't say no to, and not trying to gaslight myself or figure out an explanation of why I'm saying no. Because no is a complete sentence, and sometimes that is all there is to it. I don't want to. So I say no a lot more in my life now when it comes to certain things related to cycles that I've been in. I also, on social media, practice boundaries for myself, where I might be going through and I see something and immediately I want to respond, and I'm just like, that's not my business. I don't have to respond to everything. I don't have to help everybody. I don't have to give advice to everybody. I don't have to try to lead the horse to water all the time. I don't have to be in other people's drama. Like, it's a work in progress, but that's also a way that I center myself, is by realizing where my energy is going and being more responsible for that. And if you go to my TikTok, you'll see I fell for some rage bait just a few minutes ago, or maybe an hour ago. Concept of time is starting to get away from me, but I fell for rage bait. I inserted myself into something that wasn't my business. Turns out that the person was rage baiting, and they may have been doing it subconsciously, may not have been conscious, may not even realize that's what he was doing. He may actually believe in what he was saying, but I was able to finally clock it when he said something that it just made the light bulb go off. I was like, oh. And y'all can go to my TikTok and watch it. But saying no and setting boundaries for myself on social media are two ways I've been centering myself. And the struggle with that is really just from the saying no perspective, is Again, not feeling like I have to explain myself for my no. No is a complete sentence. Sometimes I just don't want to do something. I don't have to have a reason. And if it's not something that is tied to my own personal responsibility, if it's not something that is tied to somebody being in danger or harm, there's nothing wrong with that. Sometimes I just don't want to give y'all my energy. And I'm not saying y'all, I'm just saying in general. Sometimes I just don't want to give my energy to certain things, and that is okay. Because it's my energy. It's mine. I'm responsible for it. I can do what I want to do with it. I don't have to give an explanation for everything. That's a struggle for me because of really the way that I was raised. Kind of ties to the thing about me not being taught how to take care of myself and me being discouraged from doing so. I was discouraged from doing a lot of things that could have actually benefited me. But as far as the social media thing, the struggle with that is just breaking a habit. Because being in a place of rest and stillness when you're used to doing, or chaos, makes me bored. And I said you because I'm having trouble not saying this as if I'm telling you what to do, but I'm so used to doing something. I'm so used to moving. I'm so used to chaos that not being in chaos, it just feels funny. So on social media, that's a place to be in something, doing something, or being in the comfort of chaos indirectly. However, it has been detrimental to me in my journey. So I have decided to set those boundaries for myself. Which brings me to the last point, which is being honest with myself. Centering self, as I've said before, is not just about the fact that people have been doing this to me and people are just trying to take my energy. People have been hurting me and getting away with it. And anytime I do the same thing, it's worse for me. It is not really about any of that. It is about getting into self fully, wholly. If you haven't watched my last video about women lead the change, I talk about how scientifically and spiritually women have the task of leading the change by integrating internally. There isn't anything women can do physically. There isn't anything women can say that will truly invoke change. The change has to come from us being the first ones to remember who we are, which is soul, which is energy, which is perfect, which is sovereign, divine, and learning how to operate in that space of sovereignty, perfection, divinity. I forgot what else I said. But to do that, I've had to be honest with myself in every aspect, not just about what I've let people get away with as far as harming me. What have I gotten away with? What do I do? What are some behaviors, some characteristics that I have taken on that don't align with my soul being and don't align with loving other people as well as loving myself? What harm, what no good am I putting out into the world is a part of what centering self is about. So I have honest conversations with myself and my higher self. And what I want y'all to understand is there's technically no difference, but sometimes I have to have a conversation from the perspective of looking at my ego personality and this person I've created to survive in this world. And other times I'm seeking out higher guidance from my soul so that I can understand what I'm talking about from the ego perspective, or what I'm talking about to the ego personality. And if you're not into the spiritual stuff, that might not make sense. What I would tell you is, if you want to take a similar step, all you have to do is journal your thoughts and feelings. All you have to do is keep a journal of your thoughts and feelings. And you don't have to worry about where it's coming from or who you're talking to. You just journal your thoughts and feelings. But having these conversations with myself honestly have allowed me to clear some things that no longer serve me, clear some emotions, clear some trauma, clear some of the coping mechanisms and the survival tactics that I have taken on. And it is actually, ironically, made it easier for me to make these videos and interact on the internet from this perspective versus the boundaries thing I was talking about, because I have more confidence now. I have more confidence the more I have these honest conversations with myself, because in having these honest conversations with myself, I also give myself grace and compassion, the same grace and compassion that I try to give other people. Everything I have put out, I'm bringing back into myself. And I am observing it from the lens of no judgment, so that I could see what no longer suits me and what aligns with where I'm going. And I hope all of that made sense. But that's pretty much the size of what I'm doing now. What I will say is, doing those 3 things is leading me to another thing that I think pertains to centering self, which is following my passions. I am getting to a place where I am more and more confident. I am less and less fearful of actually following my passions. Talking to a group of people, a mass number of people, is actually one of my passions, because I do feel like I have a lot to say that could inspire people or help people inspire themselves. It's not about me getting credit. It's not about me getting notoriety. It's not about me being revered. It is simply about me sharing this information instead of gatekeeping it for myself, so that other people can alchemize it, transmute it, and use it for whatever they need to use it for. And then maybe they can do the same thing I'm doing, which is sharing. Because what I've learned about us as a species is we are actually really, 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 really good at expanding our souls, at expanding our spirits. I can say something and someone can hear me, and a thought it can immediately spark for them that I never even thought of. That's expansion. So that is part of one of my passions. So you can say you can actually say, well, I can actually say a little bit that I am following my passion a little bit. But I actually have other passions that I want to bring to the forefront, that are more dear to me than talking. I can talk, I can say anything on a video where nobody's talking back to me. But to be vulnerable in the other ways that I'm working on is going to take me some time. But following my passions is another way, I believe, is a way to... Following my passions, in my opinion, is another way to center myself, which I'm working towards. And with that being said, I think I'm going to end the video here. There is a struggle that I want to talk about, but it's a very highly specific struggle that I think I'm going to make a separate video for. So y'all subscribe, y'all like, y'all comment. You can go over to my TikTok and follow. You can go to my astrology channel and subscribe, follow, do all of those good things. Yeah, I appreciate it, whatever you do, honestly. This is probably one of the most authentic videos I've ever made. But anyway, I love y'all. Be good to one another, but most importantly, be good to yourselves. And remember, I cannot actually tell you how to take this journey. That is up to you. All I can do is tell you what I do, and you take it and do with it what you can. Take care.